you know, welcome to African Museum. When I say, well, African Museum, as you know, a museum always consists of all kind of treasures and all them things there. Well, this is a museum of music, you know, say, all kind of treasures music. You have ears will hear, you know, saying, because the message is there, you know, but I deliver out that to the people as a messenger of the Almighty. I write music when that feelings come, that spiritual vibes come, and say, that's I just get up and just go write on music, I sing a music.
Hello everybody, you're welcome back again to the Reggae Appreciation Society. In the amazing history of reggae music, there have been many incredible artists who have inspired our love and admiration over the past 5 decades. And we love these icons for their wonderful music and the unique facets of their talents that they all brought to the table. The great Peter Tosh brought his revolutionary aura and attitude, Coco T brought his sweet voice and irresistible flow, while Dennis Brown brought his unmistakable voice and warm persona that made him both a fan's favorite and the singer that every other artist wanted to sound like. All great icons that excelled in their areas of strength. But there aren't too many artists that had all these attributes all rolled into one person, like the magnificent Gregory Isaacs. A once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon of an artist that's, in my humble opinion, the most complete reggae icon of all time. Whether it was a studio recording version or doing his thing live on stage, the man always notched it 100%. In fact, if we're talking about live shows, one of my favorite performances was his now legendary performance at the Brixton Academy in London in 1984. I've seen quite a number of reggae concerts in my time, but in that particular show, Gregory Isaacs thrilled, tantalized and teased his audience until they were almost storming the stage. From his technical ability on the microphone down to his sublime unbeatable looks, there are so many things that made him one of reggae's greatest icons. But right now, let's take a look at a few things that made Gregory Isaacs such a devastating performer and one of the most complete artists of all time. The voice. Of course, the first and definitely most powerful weapon in his arsenal was his exceptionally powerful and smooth velvety baritone voice. Gregory Isaacs is still rated 14 years after his death as one of reggae's greatest vocalists. His exquisite vocal texture was achingly expressive and almost literally drove his female fans crazy, a quality that saw him make lovers rock a very popular and legitimate subgenre of reggae music. Though a consummate lover boy, he never exuded any boastful machismo, but instead radiated a sensitivity in his voice that earned him the title of the Lonely Lover, a characteristic that he would deliver a masterclass on in his monster hit track Night Nurse. Unrivaled swagger and stage presence. There are lots of reggae artists over the years who showcased incredible ability in live shows, but I haven't seen anybody that would exude the charm, effortless stage presence, poise, and seductive magnetism like Gregory Isaacs did. He would weave magic in thousands of live shows and set performance stages ablaze while barely breaking a sweat. Not needing to skank phonetically like his contemporaries would do, he always grooved gently on stage, strutting across the podium with his chest out like a general addressing his subjects. And whenever his shows were at the climax, he would wind his hips and cock his head to one side, raise an arm and let it fall in tandem with the beat, provoking wild screams from the audience that was mostly made up of ladies who were always his primary constituency. He cut the figure of a Rasta James Bond, always decked out in the finest suits, complete with his trademark fedora hat, a look which earned him the nickname of the Cool Ruler, the most visually striking reggae artist of all time. His masterclass stage show at the London Brixton Academy is, in my humble opinion, one of the top 5 reggae concerts of all time. His incredible versatility. Though immortalized as one of the pioneers of lovers rock and one of the most consummate crooners on songs that touched on matters of the heart, he was one artist who was incredibly versatile. And while most of his contemporaries were at that time either fully embedded in doing conscious music or topics of a less serious nature, Gregory was endowed with the ability to switch up dramatically when necessary. From out of his heart, he would pour out some of reggae's greatest love songs like Soon Forward, Night Nurse, and Substitute that left his female fans all starry-eyed, but also unleashed militant conscious tunes that spoke to social or spiritual themes on songs like Mr. Cop, Rasta Business, and Slave Master. And the only reggae artist that I know that could match Gregory's levels of versatility was none other than the great Sugar Minott. His flawless songwriting, There are many artists who can sing really well but can't write that great, while there are others who can write really well but aren't the best singers. But Gregory Isaacs was an amazing singer and, I dare say, an even more incredible songwriter. To crown his mesmerizing voice and delivery, he put in more effort into crafting the words and structures of his songs more than any other reggae artist that I know about. Detailed and meticulous to the core, he was known to write songs when inspired and then go back and examine every single word with his advanced Oxford Dictionary to make sure that everything made sense. And something else I found amazing about his songwriting is that he just didn't write songs and go into the recording booth to belt them out into the microphone, but he was an avid reader of the then immensely popular Mills and Boon's romance novel series, and he would read one first to get into character like an actor before recording the songs. Mr. Prolific. One incredible thing about Gregory Isaacs was his almost superhuman tally and quantity of music that he cranked out in his 4-decade career. Very early in his career, he formed his own label called African Museum Records, and between 1973 and 1976, he would release more music than what most artists release in their entire careers. It's been estimated that he recorded at least 100 albums and definitely thousands of songs in his awesome career, just like his close pal and close collaborator Dennis Brown, and most of them were recorded in the 1980s, when dancehall had emerged as a dominant sound in Jamaica, leaving traditional singers like Gregory playing catch-up behind the likes of Yellowman and Barrington Levy. Gregory Isaacs and Dennis Brown undertook to pump as much of that regular reggae sound into the airwaves and dance floors as possible. Though it didn't slow the tide of dancehall, it became testament to Gregory's incredible prolific music stamina. The master businessman. Though not exactly a performance-based quality, Gregory Isaacs was truly among the most business-savvy artists that the industry has ever seen. To begin with, he was among the first to take his destiny into his own hands when he formed his own record label, African Museum, with singer Errol Dunkley in 1973 at the age of 22. And he would also orchestrate stunning masterstrokes in his dealings with international record labels like Island and Virgin Records, and secured huge payouts, which were all way above what those labels were paying his contemporaries, except maybe for absolute megastars like Bob Marley. The great Gregory Isaacs was truly one of a kind, but the tragic irony is how, despite all his incredible qualities, he was undone and ultimately destroyed by drug addiction, which left him a shell and shadow of his former self and led him to his grave at the age of 59. But on the whole, he's gone down as the archetype of what an artist and singer is supposed to be like. A truly stunning, one-of-a-kind, devastating performer, and the most complete that you may ever see again. So there you have it. Thank you for watching this video today. Please leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, God bless.